A woman can love you, but that doesn't mean she has the capacity to appreciate you. And I'm sorry if I'm the first person to tell you that, especially after you've given everything, tried your best, showed up consistently, just to be thrown aside and treated with disrespect. I'm also sorry that all the advice you're being given still revolves around her. Go no contact, remove your energy, let her miss you. And don't get me wrong, no contact is cool. There's a place for it. But when I was going through it, when I had given everything, taken accountability, been supportive, only to get disrespected in the end, I realized something that was important for me. I didn't want to be missed. I wanted her to regret how she treated me. You see, a woman can miss your absence without regretting how she treated you. She only regrets losing you when the man she took for granted becomes someone who's no longer in reach. And most men never get there because they make the same mistake too early. There was a scene in the movie Friday where Craig and Smokey see Miss Parker outside in some tight jeans, and almost immediately they have an idea about exactly what they want to do with her. And that's what male attraction is. It's visual, it's fast, and it's the one place where most men lose themselves. And to be fair, this is a biological process that most men aren't aware of. And so to get some clarity on it, I like to use what I call the stage model. So for starters, you have stage 1, that's attraction. That's where you feel the pull, the trigger. Stage 2 is qualification. This is where discipline matters. This is where a man slows himself down and the focus shifts from attraction to character assessment. Is she capable of reciprocity? Is alignment there? If those boxes are checked, then you move to stage 3, which is escalation. So this is where you invest more time, effort increases, and things start moving forward. Now these stages, they all sit on top of a foundation, and I call that foundation frame. Now, I talk about frame more deeply in my last video, but for here, all you need to know is this. Frame is your ability to stay grounded in your standards, judgment, and self-respect, even when desire is high. If frame is weak, attraction takes over. And that's where you see men chasing and doing whatever it takes to get the outcome they want without knowing a single thing about the woman outside of the fantasy they created in their minds. And that's where the problem starts. You see, most men who get taken for granted, they don't fail in stage 3. They fail between stage 1 and 2. And once that happens, 2 things go wrong fast. First, effort gets misplaced. This is where chasing quickly turns into overinvesting because they get so busy trying to impress the girl that they start giving girlfriend treatment to someone who hasn't reciprocated that level of investment yet. And this is where being a good guy becomes less about character and more about a strategy to win her over. The thought process is if they treat her better than other men, then she'll appreciate them more, see their value, and choose them. But that's the biggest trap because anytime you skip qualification, you start giving value before it's earned. So your consistency doesn't make you stand out. In that situation, it makes you come across as too available, and nothing kills tension more than that. The second thing that happens is space collapses. Space is what happens when you stop chasing long enough to see whether she'll actually lean in on her own. For example, imagine you match with a Heidi on Bumble. You take your time and you craft a good, engaging message, and she replies with one word. Space is leaving the conversation there. But that takes frame because it requires trust in that a woman who's genuinely interested will find ways to lean in, but most men cannot do that. So they keep engaging, they keep giving her attention because they can't accept what reality is already showing them. And if you think about it, what a situation like that is, best case scenario, you get the date, but she gets to be taken out without ever having to put effort into writing a compelling reply. And that's how these dynamics get built on the wrong foundation. Because men get so focused on chasing the outcome that they don't prioritize their needs. And that's how you end up in a relationship that's one-sided. And listen, I'm not preaching to you because I'm not above it. I've done this too. I've had situations where the energy was low from the start, the information was already there, and I still kept investing because I wanted an outcome. And that's really the cost of weak frame. If you can't stand in who you are and make people meet you there, then you'll always be giving up leverage. So I say all that to say this. Men get taken for granted when attraction outruns discernment. The problem is never about being a good guy. The problem is when you leverage your time, effort, and consistency for access while asking nothing in return. Because you end up giving away all your value before it's earned. And the truth is, relationships require mutual effort. That means two people meeting on equal footing, because that's the only place connection and attraction can form. So anytime a relationship is one-sided, you are already behind. And that's how you become the man she regrets losing. It's not about being missed. It's about strengthening your frame so you stop abandoning yourself in the pursuit of desire. If there's one thing I can be sure on, is attraction is always going to trigger urgency. But a strong frame acts as a stopgap because you understand your value and you refuse to surrender it. And once you're able to do that, build a strong frame, the dynamic changes because you're no longer trying to win at all costs. And at that point, it stops being about whether she's attracted and it becomes whether or not she qualifies. And that's the key. You can say it's in discipline, but you don't become the man she regrets losing by being missed. You become him by becoming the kind of man who no longer abandons himself for access. If you found this compelling or helpful in any type of way, please subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to check out some of my other videos.